Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Students, dear students of A1 Economics, the new students, you are welcome to Economics 9708 syllabus. In our last lesson, I gave you a brief introduction about the syllabus, how many topics we are going to study in this subject of economics, which is having a code 9708. I gave you some instructions about the syllabus contents, that there are the core topics which will be covered in our AS level, and there will be the two types of papers which will be taken by the Cambridge University in 2021 for two people. So what are those papers? I want to give you some insight about those papers, what types of questions, what types of instructions you will be facing in those papers. So this is the first paper 9708. This is the subject code economics multiple choice question paper. This is paper 1 multiple choice, and this is October November 2019. So this is paper 1 variant 2. You might be knowing that our zone is 4. We are giving paper in zone 4, which is having variant 2 question papers for all the subjects. So this number 2 is showing us the variant of the question paper. So what are the additional materials that is given? Multiple choice answer sheet, that is a grid sheet where you will be answering your questions, whatever you think which option is the right one. You have to use your lead pencil, soft pencil type B or HB is recommended. Okay, soft clean eraser, you will be having that with you, and it is also instructed on this paper that you can take a simple calculator with you. When write in soft pencil, do not use staples, paper clips, glue or correction fluid. Write your name, center number, all you know, everything, this is thing. So there are 30 MCQs. There are 30 questions on this paper, answer all questions. For each question, there are 4 possible answers, A, B, C, and D. Choose the one you consider correct and record your choice in soft pencil on the separate answer sheet. That is a grid sheet which is available to you people. Now come towards, this is a, this question paper is consists of 12 printed pages. So this is the question number 1. What is correct about scarcity? Question number 2. Which tables might be used on a production possibility curve? Which labels might be used on the production possibility curve diagram? So you can give the answer. Question number 3. These are the questions which are laid down according to your syllabus contents. All right. So these are the different diagrammatic questions. I gave you the information that the first objective of Cambridge is information and knowledge. So 25% of the questions which will be coming from your syllabus, which will be evaluated in the form of information and knowledge. Then they will be giving you some of the questions about assessment objective number 2, like analytical skills will be judged, and then they will be asking you to evaluate your knowledge as well. About, you will be giving your own opinion what should be there. So mostly we are having these types of MCQs. You are watching them very easily. These are the diagrammatic questions. I gave you the full insight because some of the students, when they opt economics and later on they come to know it requires more analytical knowledge, and it requires more of the diagrams to be drawn by the students and understood by the students in order to answer their questions. So if they are keeping in mind, they are opting for a subject which is rather easier than any other subject in my opinion, but it requires you to understand the diagrams and to analyze them for MCQs. Keep it in mind, MCQ paper is very important in economics. If you are taking A grade in paper 2, but you are lacking behind in case of paper 1, so Cambridge will not be giving you A grade. They will be switching down your grade towards C or D. It happens every year. One student was getting A in paper 2, but you in paper 1, so Cambridge awarded that student C grade. Or sometimes student is performing very good, excellent in paper 1, but he is performing very poor in paper 2. So in that case again, your final grade will be affected towards the bottom of the grades like C, D, or E. So I don't want you to people have such type of lower grade. I want you, I expect you, I wish you that all of you should be able to get A grades or B grades in your economics subject. So for that purpose, you need to understand what types of questions will be there in the final exam. So these are the four options in diagram. So you need to understand these diagrams and answer them in case of the right answer. You think this will be the right answer. So diagram related to demand and supply, they are more frequent to come in your final exam. Elasticity diagram, like this is the supply elasticity diagram. Three supply curves are given. I give you the diagram shows three possible tax schemes. These are the tax schemes, okay? Tax paid and personal uh, income. What can be concluded about these tax schemes X, Y, and Z? X is more progressive than Z. X, Y, and Z are all proportional. Y is the only proportional tax. Z is more progressive tax. So taxes are part of the macroeconomics. The same diagram can be seen in the form of supply curves, but when the axes are labeled differently, the diagram will have a different meaning. So question 16, you can see the demand and supply diagram. Supply is perfectly inelastic and demand is downward sloping. So there will be the questions asked by uh, these Cambridge examiners, and you have to answer them. Then there can be some type of tabular questions like we see over here. The table identifies items of government annual spending. So these are army pay, $35 million, civil servants salaries, 125, farming subsidies, pension payments, welfare benefits, all they are given in the table, and then you are asked to answer the question which is based upon this information. And then come towards down, we are finding the macroeconomic questions of real GDP. This is again a diagrammatic question about aggregate demand and aggregate supply, not simple demand and supply, but it is about aggregate demand and supply. The most important part of our economics syllabus, that is about international economics or international trade. Now the protectionism, after 20 questions, now we are having last 10 questions related to international trade and exchange rate, which is very important to understand for the student of economics, how international scenario is going to affect our economies. What is meant by different types of theories related to comparative advantage, absolute advantage, what is meant by terms of trade and exchange rate. So all these things are categorically tested by your MCQ papers. Categorically, we are having the questions in sequence of the syllabus as the syllabus is proceeding. That's why we are having the same format of the questions in our paper 1 and paper 2. So these are the 30th, 29th question, and then the 30 question. Then there will be a blank page at the end of this paper. And after that, you will be provided an answer sheet, and you have to answer those whatever the choices you think they are the right one, and then you will be labeling them by using a soft pencil, recommended HB pencil, in order to write the right answer. Fill the gap A, B, C, D in the box, and then you will be seeing that we are going to have the right answer. Then come towards the paper 2 of the same. I want to show you the paper 2 as well, for the same question paper number 2. So this is what I'm going to have paper 2 for you people. Start downloaded. That will give you the insight about the examination strategies adopted by the Cambridge University. So what types of things you will be asked to answer in paper 2? What will be the structure of that paper? What will be analyzed in that paper? You have to answer them very briefly, and whatever is required to explain and discuss, you will be showing them very easily. Okay, so I'm opening paper 2 for you people. Sorry. Okay. Oh, this is paper 2 now. is opening now. Okay, this comes paper 2 of the same year, October, November 2019. Again, you see economics 970822, paper 2, variant 2. We are having variant 2 papers for all the subjects. This is paper 2, variant 2. So keep it in mind when you are answering or practicing for your final exams, you are choosing the right paper in your question bank. So this is called data response and essay writing economics question. You have to write an essay, you have to answer the data question. So it is having two sections. I mentioned you in my last lesson. Section A, answer question 1, brief answers only are required. This is a compulsory part. And section B, answer 1 question out of 3. You will be given the 3 questions. Now see the section A part. This paper is having 4 pages. Section A, answer this question. At any cost, you have to answer it. You are not having any choice in section A. Ethiopia to develop through infrastructure investment. So this is a data given to you. Extract 1, Ethiopia economic overview. A country profile is given with 99.4 million people. Ethiopia has the second largest population in sub-Saharan Africa. So this extract is taken from the World Bank, April 2017. So it means this paper was designed and set by Cambridge University in 2017, but it appears in 2019. So they set the papers 2 or 3 years earlier, then they are giving it to the students. So right now, if you are appearing in 2021, you will be taking a paper of in Cambridge University set during the year 2019 or 2020. Ethiopia plans US $90 million infrastructure spending spree. So again, this is also giving us the source, Neil Ford, African Business 21 March 2017. Now you can see the table 1.1, Ethiopia's current account of the balance of payment. I mentioned you in my introductory lesson that most of the time we are having the questions from the chapter number 4, the international trade. Here we are finding balance of trade in goods and services, US dollar millions, current account balance, US dollar in millions. So these two are showing us as the deficit. And then you see these are the number of questions, A, B, C, D, E. So the 20 marks data response question is split into these marks. First part, 2 marks, second part of the A, 2 marks, B part 2 marks, C part 4 marks, and then 4, and then 6. The last part requires more analytical skills. It requires the students to write the evaluation as well, whatever he is going to answer in the last part of that response question. So the student should be very much skillful in answering these questions. They are more related to your comprehension type, but it is difficult, it is more analytical, it requires more skills by the students to answer the data question. It is in the real economics, the real data of a country is given to you. There is no hypothetical data which is given, rather it is a real data, and you are asked to answer the questions related to that real data and what your subject knowledge is saying. Both the things will be tested, whether your subject knowledge can be applied, you are able to apply your knowledge and evaluate your knowledge as well in the last part of the data. So section B, you can see over here, answer 1 question. The 3 questions are given, 2, 3, and 4. The first part of the question is about A part, explain with the help of diagram the process through which the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity of a good changes when there is an improvement in the technology underlying the production of that good. But this is what we say. The question number 2A is present, and discuss the problems in applying supply side policies in an economy and assess whether these problems can be overcome. So the first part is on a lighter note. You have to answer, only explain the things. 8 marks are there, no need to give any evaluation in this part of the question. But discussion question is a high level of skill which requires you to evaluate your knowledge as well, whether You are in favor of the argument being asked by you, or you are in disfavor of the argument. You have to evaluate your answer as well at that. In question 3a, you can say explain how the knowledge, understanding and knowledge of the price elastic demand for a good can help businesses to assess the impact of price changes upon their total revenue. Since the demand for a demerit goods such as cigarettes is price inelastic, so the first part requires you to demonstrate your knowledge about the price elasticity of demand and how will it help the business in order to increase the revenue. This is the application. It requires application as well along with the knowledge. There is no evaluation. The third or fourth objective, of your syllabus is not being asked in part A. But in part B, since the demand for a demerit goods such as cigarettes is price inelastic, a tax on the product is a waste of time. What is needed is better awareness amongst consumers of the negative effects of smoking cigarettes. Discuss this view. So you are discussing the view. First of all, you will be in favor of what the argument is there. Then you will be disfavoring, and at the end, you will be evaluating your answer that what should be the conclusion about this thing. Explain how the terms of trade of an economy will be affected by changes in an economy's exchange rate. Again, from the fourth chapter, we are finding a question in our section B. Exchange rate and terms of trade both are asked to answer you the question. Discuss using examples whether an expenditure reducing or an expenditure switching policy is the more effective response in economies faced with a deficit on the current account of the balance of payments. Again, the discussion question. You can see these are the three questions given to you in section B, but you have to choose one of them. Okay, if you are choosing one, then answer it. I suggest the students first they have to answer section B, then come back towards the section A, because time management is very important whenever you are answering your question. Request paper 2. It is having a time limit of 1 hour and 30 minutes. You can see at the top it is mentioned here. It is mentioned the time is 1 hour and 30 minutes. You cannot exceed this time. You have to answer. So if you start answering data response in your first case, that you are choosing data response to be answered first, and then you are answering section B, it may create a difficulty for you people to complete your paper within this due time of 1 hour and 30 minutes. I suggest the students that they should be answering section B first, that their mind should be in a running position to answer all these things first, and then they come back towards the section A, where they will be better managing the time and they will be able to complete their answer sheet within the due time, that is 1 hour and 30 minutes. But students, if they follow these instructions, they will be able to answer within the due time. And if they are unable to answer, they are not following the instructions, so what happens in that case? They will be facing a problem of incomplete answers, incomplete question answering, even though they are knowing many of the things, but they are unable to complete their answers within the due time. They will be suffering in the form of lower grade. So this is our second demonstration about the syllabus. First thing, I gave you the demonstration, a video lesson about your economic syllabus, what content you will be covering in AS. And today I gave you the idea or picture of your papers, paper 1 and paper 2, which will be coming to you in your AS level or advanced subsidiary level or A1 of your syllabus. So nothing of A2 will be coming to your A1. If they give it, they delete that question and benefit of doubt can be given to the students. But here, sometimes they add a question of MCQ of A2 in A1, but later on in the marking scheme, they show us that this question was deleted by Cambridge because that was not from A1. So anyhow, we have analyzed two things, the syllabus and question papers as an introductory lesson. So by the next lesson, I will be starting your syllabus from the first chapter. of A1, the basic economic ideas. Might be knowing the scarcity economic systems and how they will be understood by you people in order to achieve your qualification of A-level economics. So keep it in touch and say something. If you don't understand anything, you can ask me on my WhatsApp number 0321 So save this number in your phone book and then ask any type of question you want to have. I am repeating the number 0321 So by the end of the lesson, you can also like the video on the YouTube channel. You can go and you can see what is happening in that case. So we are having one thing over here. This is we are sharing the topic and now we are closing our lesson related to introduction of economics. Okay, meeting controls are over here. Where is the Microsoft? Okay, now I'm stopping recording and see you with new zeal and enthusiasm in order to start our lesson from our next class. I'll be using the whiteboard in order to give you instruction about the first lesson. Keep it in touch. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.